Hello, Jamaica. Hello, world. Thank you once again for joining me here on the Elevator Live podcast. I'm your host, Odane Brooks. And here on the Elevator Live podcast, I showcase the work that young people are doing in their community. As oftentimes the narrative is about young people being very what you could consider as being entitled beings. But here on this platform, I retake that discussion and to showcase the work that young people are doing across Jamaica. For the past couple of weeks, I have been showcasing NGO leaders who are doing excellent work in their community. And this week, it will be no different. This week, I will be featuring another organization that is being led by young people who are having a sterling impact across Jamaica. And so it gives me great pleasure to invite on this platform Mr. Bernard, who is from Greater Change Foundation. Thank you so much, Mr. Bernard, for joining me here on the Elevator Live podcast. How are you?
I am well, thanks, Mr. Brooks. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure sharing with the nation that we do have young people out there that has passion. We do have young people out there that have a drive to make change. Because what when I look and see what the world is really going to in terms of everything, it makes me think that a lot of people lose hope, but you know I'm built different, and I'm here, and I'm winning, and I'm giving God thanks that I'm here to make change into this society. So thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you so much for having me here on your show.
Awesome, awesome. So you are here to talk about your organization. Introduce our elevators to your organization and what would have been the motivation behind starting it.
Well, so it was back in July 2020, in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. I remember one time I was just, when the whole country was coming under the lockdown, was just really, really overwhelming. The whole lockdown across the globe was impacting everybody. But us Jamaicans, we take things to a different level. And um, I was just in the metropolitan area, the Kingston metropolitan area, when I heard about the lockdown. When you see how the streets are so empty, I was just in the downtown area one time, and I saw the homeless people on the street. I said, these people don't have any family, they don't have any friends, they don't have any support, and this virus is a killer. Because at the time when COVID came to Jamaica, it was just wiping. When COVID came across the world, it was just wiping people left, right, and center. Like, COVID never care if you have money. COVID never care if you have this. Once you catch COVID, I tell you, say, if you recovered from COVID, and I can speak because I had COVID in 2022 last year of January, so I have a story to tell, right? But when I saw the homeless people, I'm saying to myself, Lord, what can I do for these people? What can the government do for these people? And that is where I found my passion in giving. So, all right, that is where I found my passion in giving back to these marginalized individuals. And I remember one time, one particular Friday, I made a lot of sandwiches, and I had bottles of water by myself, and I was able to feed over 500 people. Yes, 500 people. People are like, you people, yes, you feed 500 people. I'm like, yes, I feed 500, over 500 people. I literally counted the amount of persons that I fed, and the smiles and the laughter that I was able to put on the faces of these marginalized people has changed. It makes me feel so good.
Wow.
Like, I was just handing out a lot. I had a lot of bags. Like, I had a lot of the the heavy bags with sandwiches. Sandwiches, and I had a bag with bully beef sandwich, and I had water. Now walk up and down here and there and everywhere, giving out Some other guys that clean up windshield, we give them sandwiches as well, you know. And I said to myself, this is something, and I would love to see young people give back to marginalized communities. Not only marginalized communities, but give back to society, right? And that is where I found my passion in establishing this foundation in 2020.
Awesome. But could you share with our elevators what would have been some of the contributing factors during your younger age that would have inspired you and that would have molded you to become this so philanthropic individual?
Trust me, like being in my like growing up, I would say in some parts of my life I was marginalized. Well, some of us, as we grow and as we evolve as individuals, we sometimes, we say, tough um tough times don't last. Tough times um don't last, but tough people do, right? I think that's the saying.
Oh,
Sometimes
yes.
when you're achieving something in life, sometimes there are gonna be dark roads, and you really, really need to push. And I remember something in my life where I actually needed to push, not only financially, but mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. And trust me, I got the help. The Lord has sent help. So when I see these people who are marginalized are in the same position that I was in, I said, why not? Why not be a blessing to them? Why not be a blessing to them? And this is where that was one of my factors that I was able to carry it out for me to be a philanthropist as of today.
Awesome, awesome. So talk to us a little about some of the initiatives that you would have undertaken since your inception.
So in July 2020, that was when I found the organization where I started off with a Feed Homeless initiative in July of 2020. And as I mentioned, I was able to feed over 500 people by myself. And then in December of 2021, I was able to have a next Christmas care intervention. It's a feed initiative called the Christmas Care Intervention for the Homeless, where I was able to feed people in the metropolitan area. And thanks be to God, I got Honey Bun and Yummy Bakery as sponsors to sponsor this event. And I used my money and I purchased cases of water at Price Mart, and I got the assistance, from my aunt and a fella that I know was able to drive me around and feed a lot of these people. Even sometimes when I just, as I mentioned, when I see the people on the street, it just grieves me. And these people are not bad; they're just homeless as one family. So that was the next initiative that we had in 2021. That was before I started to get team members and so. Then in August of 22, we had our beach cleanup commemorating Jamaica's 60th independence in bringing to the public, public awareness and education that it is important for us to keep our coastal areas clean. Because a lot of us like fish, a lot of us like seafood. When our tourists come to Jamaica, they like our seafood, they like our rich culture. I wouldn't want them to be, getting any form of seafood, and then there's a lot of garbage is in the sea. So we have to that the Beach Cleanup initiative was to spread awareness and to educate the public of keeping our coastal areas clean. And then in August of 2022, we had our same um, intervention. I call it the emancipendence in the intervention for the homeless, where we were able to feed and next for people again with the help of Honey Bun and Yummy Bakery, and we were able to feed many people in the downtown area, St. Andrew, within the Kingston metropolitan area, And thanks again to the Jamaica Constabulary who were able to, guard us. I know sometimes these homeless people might have their weapons, so we were able to
Mm-hmm.
get some further assistance from the constabulary providing us with offers to come and bodyguard us while we were distributing food to these homeless persons. And then in December, we had two initiatives. As you can see on our Instagram page, we had a Christmas treat initiative, Sophie's Place Children's Home, where we collaborated with the Jamaica College Key Club, and we were able to put a smile on a lot of kids, a lot of the children. These are marginalized kids. Sophie's Place Children's Home is one of the orphanages under the governance of the Master Tea communities. We went there, we got a lot of sponsors like Barita, BM Group, Megamart, Nestle, and the list goes on. You can see as you can find our poster on our IG page and see all of our sponsors.
Wow.
And that was a very, very good event because the boys from JC were impacted by it. And the main purpose why I had them to come, because these are young and I want them to know that there's an importance of giving participating in or being involved in a community like this. It's not all about just volunteer and get money. No, when you're part of a community like this, you're opening up opportunities for yourself because you may meet people, you may connect with people, you may show good work ethic, some stuff that you might not learn in school about how to become a professional in what you do. You may learn. So it's many things they can learn, right? And based on their work ethics and the relationship that I have with these these students, whether the boys or the girls, once I see the good, excellent work ethics that they carry out, meaning that they are honest. If they don't understand anything, they always come to me. I will then write them a recommendation letter. And organizations can be HR departments can call me and ask me about this particular individual because this particular individual is under my supervision, showing great work ethics. So it's opening up opportunities for them. And it was really, really good that we were able to um, impact the lives of these children. And we were able to get toys for them. We had food for them. KFC was one of our sponsors as well. Juicy Food. As I mentioned, the sponsorship logo on our flyer on our Instagram page. And we actually got more than what we asked for from our sponsors. So that was a plus one, right? And we we had a day. We took a good picture. I love the chat with the administrator from Sophie's Place Children's Home, and this was a short notice opportunity as well
Mm-hmm.
because we were trying to find a children's home that could have accommodate us, and I found them on Google, contacted them immediately. By the Sunday evening, my assistant was able to draft a letter requesting permission for us to come and do our thing. And by Monday afternoon, they approved it, and then we started making preparations for for that event. So it was really, really good. And on the following day, we had our Christmas care intervention for the homeless, where we were able to visit the Desmond Mackenzie shelter and the Marie Atkins night shelter, where we were able to feed lots of people, right? So we had leftovers from our Christmas treat, and we were able to give back to these homeless shelters. And
Okay.
even giving back to the homeless, we actually had leftovers, and we were able to impact the lives of the young ladies at the home for girls. So we have been doing quite a number of activities for for 2022, and then we move on into 2023 with our blood drive, where we were able to donate blood to the Kidney Blood Bank, spreading the motivation and awareness of giving back blood to marginalized persons in the hospitals who need it more than us. Well, who needs it? So we were able to partner up with the Jamaica College Key Club, Wolmer's Girls, Wolmer's Boys, Calabar and St. George's Key Clubs, and Tasties, best party ever. They were able to sponsor some parties along with, sure, if fresh. They were able to sponsor us some drinks, so that was a good event. So basically, that's all the events that we had carried out thus far in a nutshell, and we have more coming up this year.
Awesome. Those are some incredible events. Maybe we would have had to have a episode two to delve some more into all of
Yes,
those events. But what I want
certainly,
to what I
certainly.
want to gauge from you, executing all of those events, being on the ground, what are some of the issues that you're seeing in your day to day interaction with people on the ground? What are some of the challenges that young people, especially, are facing?
Well, one of the main things that a lot of people are facing right now is communication. They lack communication. I
Mm-hmm.
always tell people say a lack of communication can ruin a lot of things. Even if what you're saying don't make any sense or if it doesn't really add up, as long as you communicate it and you're around someone that can be able to listen what you're saying, you pull them one side and say, hey, what is going on? A lot of us, a lot of them don't know to communicate. They think that when they have things bottled up inside, it's just crazy. They get angry, they get fury, and it's just hard to control. So when you as an individual try to put out the fight, it's very hard to put out. So one of the main issues that we'll have with young people in today's society is that the communication is bad. And once we can have a lot of communication, trust me, the world will be our oyster. When we have issues, we communicate and try to get addressed and adjusted in a timely manner so that we don't make it escalate or get worse. Them have a saying, so when you have things popping up, nip it in the bud. What I mean. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, basically that's that.
Awesome. But on that same point, what do you think what role organizations like yours have in addressing some of these issues?
Well, I tell my team members that as a team in this organization, it's an open door policy. And everybody that has volunteered and interacted with me knows that I'm someone that can speak to them about anything because, they can come to me in confidence and we can speak. If there's something that is bothering them, they can always come to me and say, Mr. Bernard, this is really bothering me. Can we address this? Or Mr. Bernard, this and that, and try to get it rectified because why wait until the issues are getting out of hand? Why not nip it right now? Why not try to find some strategies and things in place to get the matters resolved? You know what I mean? So I tell my team, anybody that joins him as a team, this is an open door policy. If anybody has any issue right, they want to talk to me about anything, my office door is open.
Awesome. So I want to engage you
Yes.
on what is your vision for the organization? Where do you see the organization in, say, 5 years from now?
Well, where I see the organization going is which I just see this organization growing and learning. Even some of the challenges that we have faced, we have learned a lot from them. What we want to see in the next 5 years is impacting lives globally. Not only in Jamaica, but globally. But the world must know that for a fact. Jamaica is good at athletics, athletics, football, you name it. We have the best beaches. And I wanted that after 5 years or within the 5 years, we are impacting the lives positively
Oh,
of marginalized individuals across the globe. Bringing change, bringing peace, love, and harmony. We need to bring back that in the world, right? So, yeah, that's what I see in the next 5 years.
wow. That is quite an ambitious task, but listening to you, I am more than inspired and confident that it is quite
Yes.
possible. And just to to follow up on the level of enthusiasm that reverberates whenever you speak. Share with us where do you get that level of motivation and enthusiasm?
Well, in everything you do, you have to seek God first. And I look up to thoughtful leaders. We have people like Nelson Mandela. We have people like Colonel Sanders, the founder of KC. We have people like Henry Ford. Those people, when you look at their life story, hear it, it's the same pattern. These guys try everything. These guys try everything to become something, and everything was just turning into a mess for them. And just one day, God said, you know what? It is your time to rise. You shall rise. And I took that analogy with me that motivated me to fire up the enthusiasm, regardless of how negative this world be. Nobody can out me by fire, right? Cause we need in order, because me tell you, they always say two negative give you a positive, right? And one positive plus a negative can give you a negative. So even very, very negative, what? Two negative give you a positive. So I take that analogy and I can share a quick story. Them always call me say me a storyteller. Anybody watch me can know that. Had a cup of water, and she was going to her church, and she was she was hearing that people in the church don't like her. So she called the pastor. She said, Pastor, the people in this church don't like me. I don't want to stop him because the people don't like me. Pastor said, all right, I'm gonna fill the cup with water, and I want you to walk around the church in circles 10 times. Any drip of this water fall out on the cup. And she started walking around the church 10 times, walking in circles. She said to her, Sister, sister, this, sister, that. No. I'm focused on the water. I'm focused on the water. I can't stop and talk to you right now. She kept looking at the water. When she came on the 10th time and she stopped at the pastor, she said, Pastor, me here. The water not fall out. She said, that is life. The noise, block out the noise around you. Focus on the water on your cup. Just take a look at time and go around the church, go around the corner, go around the circle, and just watch how far you go. See, once you have that focus, personality, not only personality, but once you're focused, nobody can distract you. And that really give me enthusiasm and zeal to just go off what I want, regardless. Yes, all if people like
Wow.
us get trapped, we wait for jump out of that trap there, forget thinking about it, we find something for what you call it there. Those people go, I call them go getters. And while I'm enthusiastic about it, I ask God Himself to give me the will. And sometimes enthusiasm can get on you. Yes, you're enthusiastic, you're passionate, but you're rushing to things, and then everything gets haywire, right? It's good to make some mentors around and that can tell us, say, hey, I know that you're passionate about this, but I think you need to slow down a little bit. I think you need to take 2 steps back. I think you need to take 1 step back. And once you're open minded to take the necessary instructions from people who have more experience than you, trust me, the world is your oyster. The world is yours. So basically,
Wow.
that's my analogy on how I kept on being focused and enthusiastic I do. And I'm proud of it as well.
Wow, awesome, awesome. You made the point about knowing when to step back, but I'm definitely confident that the work that you're doing is stepping into the future. That is quite impressive. And for anybody who is just joining us on the various
Yes.
platforms, you can find this episode on YouTube, you can find it on Spotify and Anchor. I just want to welcome those who are just joining. I am talking with Mr. Warner Bernard, and he is sharing the work that he is doing with his organization, Greater Change Foundation, and that name speaks volume. It is speaking of renewal. It is speaking of change. Talk to us a little about what inspired that name, Bernard. What was the thought process?
Yes, so actually, um, we, as I mentioned, I like to see change. They always say change is inevitable, right? There are going to be seasons in life where everything remains the same, and there's going to be one day during that season, the season will change. So that actually gave me the name that I want to see change in the society. I want to see change in how our leaders lead this country. I want to see change in how these young people navigate themselves through them youth years. I want to see change and how we can live good as a nation. I want to see change everywhere. Even if the change not make you comfortable, it is there for a reason. And when you look back, you're gonna look back and laugh and say, "Boy, if that happened, I would have reached out here." So, you see where I'm coming from?
Yes.
So that actually gave me great change. Change. I want change for this nation to be greater. Yes, there's change, but I want it to be greater and I want it to be positive, right? So that actually gave me and my team the passion to come up with this name.
Awesome. Talk to us quickly because so far we have been discussing the many successes, but I'm confident that the journey has not been without challenges. What are some of the common challenges that your organization faces?
Well, well, we face challenges. We try our best to ensure we try to strategize on getting some of these issues resolved. Some of the challenges sometimes we're trying to reach out sponsors, corporate sponsors, and so sometimes we're really passionate about carrying out this initiative, and sometimes just getting in touch with sponsors or even volunteers or even trying to get things done. Sometimes a lot of things pop up. Sometimes, for example, if we should send a company, time in advance, a proposal to sponsor this event, and um, we're trying to follow up. For example, trying to follow up, calling. Because here's the thing, how we do our thing is that we send to companies or we write to companies requesting generous donations of whatever item they can, food, product, anything, right? And when our policy is that 2 weeks or a week before the event, we should at least which and which sponsor is coming on board so that we can properly plan this event, right? Because if one person is donating cash, we need to know what this can what we consider it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if this sponsor is sponsoring us like items and stuff, we need to know the amount they're donating. I can totally understand and one of us taught me this in the week that we can't really rush anything, but this company a emergency budget meeting can come up, a budget meeting can be delayed. Things can happen within the organization that we don't know about. So it comes back to
Yes.
communication. If we practice, not only myself, but anybody, if you practice effective communication by stating, I can understand that if they're overwhelmed with all this, right? But for us to maintain a good relationship with, communication important, right? I can testify that sometimes calling some of the sponsors before the event and not picking up the phone, there's delays. One delays, I always know that every disappointment is a blessing, right? So if it's a case where we're not getting through to any of these sponsors, we'll say, all right, let us re-strategize on how we can get this. So if we should write to somebody that makes patties and so I will ask for some patties for lunch for that particular event, we're not getting an answer. Let's see how best we can strategize in a way where we can provide lunch for them. If one person can bring a patty, somebody can bring a bottle of juice. somebody can bring some napkins and we all come together as a team because we are a team. And all of this, Mr. Brooks, all of this is God Almighty. Our source is from God. And we, no matter whatever challenges we face, especially when to us giving back, we are always blessed and God always provide. So regardless of that, it makes us wiser and it makes us stronger that when we come corporate charity organization, we know what we are doing and we know what challenges we're gonna face and we know how to tackle them wisely in a timely manner so that we can go forward.
Awesome, awesome. Good to hear. And that is the kind of spirit that I want to showcase more in terms of the mindset. Because oftentimes, young people especially, we get so bogged down with negativity that we often don't look on the brighter side of how to use our moments and challenges as a means of triumph and also as a means of coming out more resilient. So, since we are on the point of challenges and what young people are going through, currently there might be a few young people who they feel a sense of hopelessness. They feel that the system just not working for them. What word would you have for those individuals? They just feel hopeless. They don't seem that there is a better tomorrow. What word would you have for them?
I said to them, firstly, I would say celebrate. Well, not really celebrate, but hmm, my word of encouragement. My word of encouragement. Still press on.
Mm-hmm.
Still press on, regardless. And what I've learned is that in every adversity, there's always an opportunity. So you might lose hope. I'm gonna tell you something. You better grab that hope and put it back on your shoulder. You better grab that hope jacket and go out there and declare what you want. Sometimes that same disappointment can push you right into your blessing. Sometimes you're sitting, you're like the blessing is right under your nose and you don't see it. And it all comes back to self awareness and being open minded. Once you're an open minded individual, nothing can stop. Nothing. Because when you're open minded, you're able to learn. So even if you don't agree with what the dictator is saying, you ask questions in order to get some clarification and in order to understand. First word, don't lose hope. Don't alone. That is when the breakthrough is right nearby. The moment you feel low, that is where you must look. That is where you must look for the light. At the end, you're in a tunnel. Feel low. That's the opportunity for you to look for the light at the end of that tunnel. Once you see that light, you keep your feet like this. Once you see that light, I'm gonna ask you to run. Once you run and reach the
Mm-hmm.
light, there you know you're good enough, right? And what I say to them, try to go out as often. If you're at home, go out as often. Take a walk. You may never know if you might meet the person that can change your life. Right? Go to events, meet people, network with people. You're not going to events to make friends with anybody. There, you learn about different services that organizations offer and you meet people. As I mentioned, in the house, lock up for the whole day. That is the time you can get him to go out there. You see, even if you don't have any bus fare, you go out there and say, Father, I declare bus fare, and watch your bus fare fall in your hand. You might walk at it, and by the time you reach at the top of the road, a $5,000 AC on the ground. It's all about hope. And this is why I said to people that in everything you do, you have to put God first.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people this, anything where you come at first, you command it to be blessed. You know the money? I said, Lord, I don't have the money right now, but I'm declaring and I'm decreeing that I will get most fit. You may never see me reach at the top of your road. Somebody having challenges with their Mercedes Benz, and then see as a young person asking for help. And you might know a little thing about Mercedes. Even if you don't know anything, but the mere fact they stop and help them, that person can change their life. That person can whisper your name in somebody at Destiny Helper's ears, and that person can change your life. So my word to these young people, do not lose hope. The moment you feel hopeless at the time, you must feel that's the same time you should be cheerful. Cheerful in advance that you're playing your own manner. And I can tell it from experience. So that's
Wow.
my two words I will tell young people. Don't turn to the
Th-
don't turn to the cigarettes. Don't turn to the drink. Don't turn temporary. Right?
those
You
are
have
some
to.
powerful Those are some powerful word, Mr. Bernard. So as we come closer to the end of this episode, um, what is your general vision for Jamaica as a country?
Well, my vision as a as vision it's just be authentic. I would say I want to see people authentic. Be your authentic self. Stop trying to stop trying to be something that you're not. Trust me, it not gonna work. Because that one day them always say the higher the monkey climb, the more I'm exposed. Right?
Yes.
Some of the next proverb that where you say yeah, that you let the cat out of the bag. Right? Be your authentic self. I wish that our leaders can be them authentic self. I wish leaders of this country can just be them authentic self. Me myself. Not saying that I'm gonna be rude and blunt. Yes, you can be blunt, but be your authentic self. A lot of things, problems that we are facing in today's world, especially with people not being themselves. Them try to do everything to please this crowd. This crowd know what you go business. Just be your authentic self. My message to just be yourself. Be yourself. And once you be yourself, you find what you love to do. Once when you find what you love to do, as long as it's positive and as long as it contributes to nation's building, go and establish it. Go there and establish it. You want the help? Thank you. You want to do
Wow.
something, you want to own a shelter, right to companies. Companies will help you, right? People, quality people, rich people out there, them spend their money and them don't know what to do with their money. You ask God to give you a favor that so that He can put these people and them see who you is, them see your true self. Them can be willing to give you money and say, all right, this is a donation towards your initiative that you're doing. And little by little, from you're doing something positive. Mark, you're gonna get opposition. Anytime you're doing anything good, you're gonna get opposition. But let me tell you something, you're gonna win. You're gonna win at the day. Them crucify Christ on Good Friday. But you know, I always tell people, without a crucifixion, there won't be a resurrection. Before I
Wow.
started this, I had a crucifixion. But I'm telling you something, this is my resurrection. I'm going to say this one more time. Without a crucifixion, there won't be a resurrection. Steel pan, playing steel pan from 2013, right? And sometime I play some songs and I don't remember the song. But the song have a beat and you have an event coming up. What we have to do for this? What we have to do in order to make the song sound good and even sound better? We have to resurrect it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to take time and resurrect the song, right? If I know that where me
Yes.
get, if me see where me can find the time alone and try to play the pan by my part. Little by little, me see if me can help the other persons in the band to important. And once we see where everybody find themselves, we can play the song together, resurrect the song together as a team in order for it to sound good. When the event comes on, people have to say bravo, encore, so that we can play it over and over again. So without a crucifix, there's no resurrection.
Wow, that's
Sorry.
quite
Just know say, yeah, the resurrection is coming, right?
that's quite a powerful
Yes.
note to end on. But before we go, what are your final words for our elevators as you move forward with your organization? What are your final words for us?
My final are, oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. My final words are just know that everybody's not going to be for you, and that's fine. As long as God Almighty in your corner, you're good to go. And if you find something that you like doing and as long as it's bringing goodness into today's mission, execute it. Ask God to give you the wisdom. Get a book, you get the ideas, write it down. All again, I make no sense, write it down. This because thing come, write it down. We need to get the mind in a place they can't pack up everything in the mind. So number one, put God first, write things down. Number three, set clear boundaries. Meaning you set clear boundaries in place and just do what needs them to. Set boundaries and let people know that hey, me can be cool enough, but don't cover me, don't come over my space. Especially if you don't tolerate any bad in your space. Just know that there's gonna be times when you're gonna be alone. But let me tell you something, is take a little time and task off strategies where you're good at. Now focus on nobody else. Focus on you.
Wow.
Strategize what you want. Time God will send the people with it. So that's just my final words. And be authentic as well. Be authentic about it. Strive for
Absolutely.
excellence. But
Thank you so much, Warner. It was
yes, that's
great.
my final.
It was great having you
Yes,
on the Elevator Live podcast, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers as well can attest to the quality of the discussion. I must say that
sure.
I've been truly inspired. So if my level of inspiration was dwindling, this conversation definitely would have rejuvenated my level of inspiration. So, thanks to all our listeners, viewers, for tuning into another episode of the Elevator Live podcast. Here on the Elevator Live podcast, I bring to you stories like what Mr. Bernard is doing in his way. And next week, I will continue to feature other organizations in a similar fashion. So stay tuned for the updates and continue to elevate the discourse. This has been the Elevator Live podcast with Odane.